Okay, we are live. Hello. Thank you for all for joining us again for the Women for Progress Radio Network. I'm Willie Jones, and I'm president of Women for Progress. And you've tuned in another edition of a powerful program. And as usual, our executive producer, Miss Juanita Brown, has lined up a great conversation for us tonight. And co-hosting with me tonight, and I always love when she's at the table with me. Always love when she's at the table. I love her smile. I just love seeing her because it just brightens my day. And that's one of the most amazing justice warriors in the state of Mississippi, in this country, is Miss Pauline Rogers of the Reach Foundation. So welcome again, Miss Pauline, to the show.
Thank you. I'm always glad to be with you, our leading lady for Women for Progress.
And look, I tell you, every time I see you, you look so much younger. I got to get with you on the background and see what you're using. I know you're doing something. You're taking some vitamins, or you're using a new, as the old folks say, a new face cream or something.
Look, what I grew up on is called the balm of Gilead.
Okay, all right. Well, what is that? The young people say, I got to get me some of that. Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much, Pauline, for joining me tonight. You're such an awesome individual, and I appreciate you so much, the service that you give to this organization. And what I was just telling Miss Brown about today, I said every time we call Miss Pauline, it's always a yes. She always going to show up, and she's going to show up on time. She's going to show up ready, and we just love what you do, and you're always giving your all. And I just can't say enough about the work that you do, about just who you are as an individual. We love the inspiration that you're always uplifting us, and we just appreciate you. I just want to say we appreciate you, and we just love what you do, okay?
Thank you. Likewise.
Now, we are both excited about our guest tonight, the incredible, legendary Mr. Bobby Rush, who's sitting at the table at Women for Progress Radio. And Mr. Rush, welcome to Women for Progress Radio.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me by, and I'm here to listen, to learn, and share a few things and find out a little about what you ladies do to help people out and who needs you most,
Well, thank you, and we want to find out a little bit more about you too. We have all these histories. We can just Google Bobby Rush, and all of this information flips up on all of the internet and all of this stuff. But we want to dig a little deeper tonight and just have a roundtable conversation with you, and real Southern conversation. If we were there in your home, we would probably be having a tea or something a little stronger, but we're not there, so we're just going to have a good conversation tonight. I want to start with sharing with you just a little bit about who Mr. Rush is, and just in case you just dropped out of the sky. And Mr. Bobby Rush is an American blues musician, composer, and singer. His style incorporates elements of blues, rap, and funk. Rush has won 12 Blues Music Awards, and in 2017, at the young age of 83, he won his first Grammy Award for the album Porcupine Meat. He is inducted into the Blues Hall of Fame, the Mississippi Musicians Hall of Fame, and the Rhythm and Blues Music Hall of Fame. A dynamic singer and harmonica player, Rush won his first Grammy Award in 2017 for the album Porcupine Meat, recorded in New Orleans. He won a second Grammy this year for Roar Then Raw. His newest project, a memoir, chronicles a lifetime of perseverance. Born in 1936 in North Louisiana's Claiborne Parish, the king of the Chitlin Circuit didn't begin to achieve mainstream recognition until the early 2000s. I Ain't Studying You, My American Blues Story, which is published by Hatchet Books, contains 280 pages of first-person recollections. That means he's given us the real in this book. Collaborating with co-writer Herb Powell, Rush tells his story in vivid 1 to 5 page chapters. His early life in North Louisiana and Arkansas, especially unreels in up-tempo beats. Again, Mr. Rush, we want to welcome you to the program, and we want to jump right in because we only have an hour, and we want to dive in and get a little personal with you. We want to share during this hour also some of your many accomplishments And then we're going to wrap up our conversation tonight with telling people how they can get this new, fascinating, spellbinding book that you have just released for us, and that talks about your life and your history and your career and what you want to leave as a legacy to the music world and to for us as Americans here in these United States. So let's just talk a little bit about, one of the things that we talk to a lot of people about doing this programming and a lot of our other programming is where we are from, the people who touch us that impact in our lives. And of course, you grew up in Louisiana and Arkansas. And so how did this journey you gravitate to becoming a blues singer and performer? Is that something you always wanted to do, or was there some things that happened that led to this catalyst for your long-term career?
Conjunction with something I always wanted to do. In a very early life, my early childhood, I knew what I wanted to be at about 7 or 8 years old. First of all, I was born in Louisiana, but my roots are here in Mississippi because of my great-grandmother who had 6 kids by Van Spivey, who was a white man she was a slave. He also had 5 kids by his wife. So when he was on his dying bed, he wanted to buy the land up to all his children. My great-grandmama was the youngest one of that family. The white side of the family, taking the black kids, took them to Eudora, Arkansas, where they raised themselves. That's how my dad met my mom in Louisiana. But they're from Mississippi. So my mom, blue-eyed, blonde hair, she was my babysitter when we was out in public. She was my mother when she had to be over at home. My dad was a chauffeur when we was out in the streets, out in the public. He was my daddy and his husband, her husband, and that was his wife when we was home. So I came up in a very, very unique way of life. But I've been through a lot of battles, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. When I was writing this book, it was very hard for me to write it for many, many years because I had to step on too many toes. And the toes I was stepping on was my own toes, and I was telling off on myself and many other people around me. So for many years, I didn't want to talk about this because I told a story on people who wrote for Willie Dixon, who was supposed to have been writing for Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf, Lightning Hopkins, all them guys. And many of the black guys was in that position, what we used to call them house niggas, they call them, back in the day. But as slave, great-grandson of a slave, I understand that most people, a lot of people who did me wrong weren't white people. It was black people who were working for white people who taken from me for the white people. So I came up another situation. That's part of the reason I wrote this book. But what I want people to do with this book is read it and come out with a situation thinking to themselves, all the battles, all the ups and downs, all the in and out I went as a black man, as a musician, as a black musician, all my ups and downs, I made it out of this situation. And you can too. Mm-hmm. That's what I want you to come up with when you read this book, And let me start by saying I apologize not knowing what all you ladies do. But I know from a personal standpoint how ladies can do a lot of things. I'm leaning on my mom now. And I know you ladies are somebody's child and you probably have children of your own. You ladies of progress got a lot you do. I got to apologize. I don't know everything you do, but just looking at you, y'all can turn the word upside down. So this book will be a little P in the book, and the job for the thing you ladies can do, will do, and have done. Well, so I hope I live up to the conversation to talk about some things about myself with you ladies.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. And just a little bit of background about who we are as an organization, Mr. Rush, because we plan to get to know you a little better. Look like we're going to be having some sit-down lunch with you next week, but we'll But for our conversation tonight, Women for Progress of Mississippi was organized back in it's 44 years old, okay? Back in 1997, it was formed by one of the most legendary civil rights leaders, community activists, and educators in this country, which is Miss Dorothy Stewart Samuel. And she created this vehicle to be a catalyst for change in the state of Mississippi. Of course, it was led and orchestrated by women, but it's remained a real strong community service organization. We empower ourselves as women. We empower families and communities here in the state of Mississippi. What she has created for us has continued. It's a part of her legacy. You will share with you a little bit more about our organization as we move forward. But we have been really a force politically, economically, and culturally for all of the 44 years that we've been in existence. And this programming that we are talking on right now, Women for Progress Radio Network, started out as a 30-minute program that evolved into an hour program and then an hour and a half program, and now a network which is providing programming that touches all over the United States. And it's a radio network, that first one in the state of Mississippi, that was created by African American women and also led by women, hosted by women, produced by women. And so we're proud of the work that we do, because everything we do with the incredible women, we have over 300 women in membership from all walks of life and all industry, as it relates to entrepreneurs and business owners and lawyers and doctors and homemakers and educators and millennial women, seasoned women like us with a little gray in our hair, and women that are just doing incredible things for ourselves and for our state. And that's who we are, Women for Progress of Mississippi. And we're always excited. We've interviewed so many legendary people over the years. The radio network has been in play, I think, 11 years. We're going on our 12th year, just the radio network alone. And we have, during that time period, interviewed so many amazing people over the years. But I tell you, tonight, to have you at the table is such an honor, such a special honor. And we appreciate you taking the time tonight to have this conversation with us.
Wow. Now, see, oh God. I apologize for not knowing what I should have known about you before I came on the air with you. But just hearing the conversation, the little I learned about you for the last 10 or 15 minutes, I was trying to Google you and the whole bit, and I got some lean on you. You know, I'm kind of with what you do and with the trucking business and business. Yeah. So I knew it. I didn't get too much of it, but I got enough to know who I'm talking to. You know.
All right. Well, good. So I want to continue our conversation tonight, and talk about, you talked about those individuals, of course, that put obstacles in your way. And we know, I mean, gosh, you're 86 years old, so we know that you've had some valleys and you've had some mountains in your life. But talk about a little bit about some of the musicians and mentors that have inspired you and really provided support for you over your career. I mean, you work with individuals like Etta James and Muddy Waters and so many others. So talk about those individuals who really were there for you, who really provided that that wind beneath your wings that made sure that you lived this career that you have right now.
There were so many people so many people did different things for me, and so many parts of my life that I gotten so many different ideas and learned so much from people who was in a position to pass things to me. A lot of the things that I got were through mistakes they made. Mm-hmm. I was close enough to them when they made a mistake. I said, hey, don't want to go that way. One of those things was Jimmy Reed and Muddy Waters. Muddy Waters smoked reefers all day and the whole bit, and Jimmy Reed was an alcoholic. And I just loved these guys, and I looked up to them. But I said to myself, I said, now, that way I don't want to go. I got so many things I have done that I should have done, haven't did everything just right. But if I had to do it all over again, it wouldn't be too much different I would do, mainly because I don't know nothing else to do. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying that to say this. Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Jimmy Reed, B.B. King, John Lee Hooker, and all these guys were before me. But there's one particular guy that struck me, and I didn't know till later on. Let me tell you about this situation. In 1951, I went to Chess Recording Company in Chicago to get a job. Muddy Waters, Willie Dixon, Jimmy Reed, and Bo Diddley is the one who really invited me to the table to get a job. And I made a mistake of reading a pamphlet was on the desk. The pamphlet said the Union 10 and 208 was journeying together. At that time, there was one musician union, but there were two separated parts inside the same union. One for white people, one for black people, same union. We represent black people here, we represent white people here, same union. I thought it was two unions. So then when I found out that the two division was joining together, and I said, oh, this is going to be good. And I read the pamphlet. So Bo Diddley was sitting there. I didn't know at the time that Bo Diddley couldn't read or write. I was making a statement around the table. And he said, and he laughed at me. And I thought he was laughing because maybe I was spoken in the country or whatever. I didn't know what he was laughing about. So then one of the brothers, Chess brother, walked out and said, where did that boy get that information talking about me? So Phil said, on your desk. He said, what did it say, boy? And he threw it back at me like that. And I read it to him. I said, the union emergence is going to be great for us black musicians. At that time, I said, the colored musician. And he turned to his field and said, we can't use that nigga because he can read. So I didn't get the job. Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, they all got the job. But I never was hired. So later after that, I went down to Rush Street in Chicago, and I was hired downtown on Rush Street. The second black man that was hired on Rush Street. The second black man that was hired in the Playboy Club, you know. And I don't want to get into no definite things about who hired me, but a gentleman who hired me, I found out later, it was Al Capone's brother. He was named Cesar Capone, who hired me. And they embraced me. So I used that. They thought I knew Al Capone, but I didn't know Al Capone. So when I went back to Chester to record, they said, here come that old Bob Rush, old Capone boy. I didn't know what they was talking about. So they was afraid of Al Capone. So I used that for my leverage to get what I want. So when I walk into the studio, I would leave out, says, Bob Rush, you going to pay your bill today? I said, no, not today. I'm going to take it to my boss, see what he said about it. They would get out of my way, you know? So I used that to take advantage of that because there was nobody in them days. Black musicians were going to the studio and bringing their own masters out. So they let me bring my masters out because they thought I knew Al Capone. If they didn't know Al Capone, they would strum me up, man.
Well, I hope that story is in your book because that's a good one. That's definitely a good one.
It's in the book.
Now, let me bring in my co-host, Miss Pauline Rogers. Pauline, you have any questions for our guests?
I love that story.
Isn't it?
But one thing I want, several things I want to ask you, Mr. Rush. Outside of music, outside of rhythm, outside of sound, what is your sound? What is your rhythm that you want to leave here when you're gone? Apart from the music, when others will come along and if they don't know the music, what do you teach people outside of music that you want them to know and remember about you? One word, one nugget, one phrase, or whatever that you would like to.
I think what it is, I want people to leave knowing that I'm a lover, I'm a spiritual believer, I'm a blues singer, but I'm a biblical study. And I want people to know that I want to do all I can, why I can. When there come a time I can't do, I won't regret what I did not do.
And you also, Mr. Rush.
The other thing.
Okay. Go ahead.
The other thing, I'm formally Mr. Rush. My life experience, I watched my father be killed at the hands of my mother in self-defense and went to prison. And music is a key thing in prison, the arts, music. B.B. King, before he left this world, every single year, he would do a free concert in the prison. what will you tell people if you had to go to the streets and tell people about crime? Well, we have a big crime issue all over this country. What would you say to people that's involved in crime, how to come out of that? And what would you tell people in prison who have been convicted of crimes that are serving time? What would you say to them?
Let me tell you, it's a good incident, because for 31 years now, I have a jail ministry. And that's what I do. I go into jail. I don't ever sing in jail. I always speak and talk in jail. And I talk about mistakes. I tell everyone, mistakes is also important. If you go when I go into prison, I talk about mistake. When a man or woman make a mistake and you know it, you can't correct yourself. But when you make a mistake and don't know it, that's where the problem starts, because the Bible teaches me a man or woman do so wrong so long, they'll think they're right. If I had been writing just a year later, I would have wrote something different when I saw what they did in the White House just a year ago. Because I see everything we look around have made a change, look like it's changed. But all the things have changed, really remain the same.
That's good.
And also, Mr. Rush, I think a lot of people don't know that your father was a minister. So you grew up grounded there. So what was that impact to your life and your career, and actually just who Bobby Rush is?
My father put everything in me that he could put in me, but I think what he put in me, that I display it very well, because what I want to add to what I just said, I want people to know that I want to cross over, and I have crossed over to a white audience, but I don't ever want to cross over and cross out my people as a black man. I never want to do that. And this is what I don't want to do. And I'm telling you now that this situation has been so bad, it haven't got any better with me personally. If a man beats his wife, he learned not to beat his wife. He still is a wife beater who learned not to beat his wife. But when you don't have a desire to beat your wife, that's what we got to get to. Not have a desire to do wrong to someone else. Because this world is turned upside down. I'm an entertainer, and I've been ups and downs. I had my valleys, I had my hills. But when I think about what it could have been, I'm so thankful for what it is.
And also now, you talked about the work you do in the prison system and really working and inspiring people. And, there's a lot of different music out there now. Young people have created their own flavor in so many different genres. So is there what are some of the young people out there, the music that are doing music that, that are inspiring you, the music that you're gravitating to, music that you like beyond your arena of the blues and R&B?
Well, a lot of things. I respect a lot of people. Let me say something to you that this may get a little hairy, because I live long enough to be in the position, and politically and spiritually and verbally in this business as an entertainer, as a publishing owner and writers and producers. Sam Cooke tried to do some things that I'm doing now. Martin Luther King didn't make it doing some things that I stand for and do now. Prince, you won't find out to another 50 years later. Michael Jackson, they just didn't die. But if you notice, I don't have no rings on or nothing, no marks on me, anything. I've been stable, and I have been cut off by being stable as a black man, but I haven't reached out to cross over and cross out my people. I'm considered as just, I don't know whether it's dumb or a smart blues guy, have really gotten over doing what I'm doing and owned it and owned the master of it. I have 397 records. I own 90% of the master I recorded. I produced everything I have done. I wrote 95% of the songs that I've written. I own the publishers and the writers of most of the things I've done. There was no accident. And I have caught hell over high water trying to maintain being self-contained. It's been a hard trip for me. But now, finally, I got a Grammy at 83 years old. I had many gold records, but not a Grammy because they wouldn't let me through the door. But they said, well, now we can't hold him any longer. Let's let him go. I'm saying, I'm talking openly about it because I've been to the mountaintop now at my age. Some of the things mattered 20 years ago don't matter to me now. I'm here to tell the truth about some things. Now, in this book I've written, it's all true. Maybe a couple of things I lied about. And one of those things that I said wouldn't sleep with a fat woman no more, I lied about that.
Well, we appreciate you being honest about that, Mr. Rush. But I also want to give a little information. We said we were going to spotlight some of your major accomplishments. You also performed at the White House along with James Brown when Bill Clinton went into office in 2014. You again performed with Bill and Hillary Clinton for a state event in Arkansas. And in 2007, you became the first blues artist to perform in China, earning you the title International Dean of the Blues. You later was named Friendship Ambassador to the Great Wall of China after performing the largest concert ever held at the site. In addition, Mr. Rush, you toured in most major markets around the world, including Sydney, Australia, Paris, France, Tokyo, Japan, Shanghai, China, Johannesburg, South Africa, Berlin, Germany, Rome, Italy, Barcelona, Spain, Lucerne, Switzerland, New York, Chicago, Memphis, Tennessee, Los Angeles, Jackson. You have done it all, Mr. Rush. What if that you've left actually your mark not on just America, but the entire world? What do you want us to remember, not only get from this book, this memoir that you have written, but also the legacy that you leave for us in the realm of music?
You know, out of all the things that I've done, and this, I don't want you to think that I'm trying to pat you on the back. This is the most beautiful day in a long time I had. Seeing a lot of ladies, bunch of ladies who doing what you do. That's why I was interested in what you do. This is fascinating to me, what you all do. It reminds me of my mother. My mother kept me alive and my dad alive by being this white woman, half white woman, whatever you want to call it. Because women, ladies, golly, man, yeah, I'm not, it's hard for me to sit in front of you because you think I'm paying you on the back, bragging on you, but I am. This organization means more lots to me than you ever think. I'm telling you now, about all the interviews I did in a long time, this is important to me. Bunch of ladies who doing what you do to help other people who can't help themselves. And this is inspiring to me. This keeps me going because a man or woman can live a long time without water or food, but you can't live long without hope. And you all give me hope today.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And look, we don't have a problem with you giving us a pat on the back. So we'll take it. And we appreciate it. And we appreciate it. And I accept on the behalf of all the women that are part of this organization and those that are out there. We appreciate you appreciating us. And we thank you. And it means a lot coming from you, somebody who has who lived the life that you have lived, and also the individual that you are. We're so appreciative that you're giving us this book as your legacy too. We're so excited. We're going to be pushing it out for people to purchase it. And right now I'm going to say, even though our conversation, we still got a little time in our conversation, but those who are interested in getting the book, there are several ways that you can get it, but I always say the most convenient way, there's a Cash App that they can Cash App their money. The cost of the book is $29, and you can do Cash App at $B R USH 1110, and that's $B R USH 1110, and the cost of the book is $29. And then we're going to be also giving some locations next week. You, of course, is going to be at the Civil Rights Museum on Wednesday, signing books, and you're going to be at Lemira Books next week, and signing books so people can, right here in Jackson. If you don't want to do the Cash App, You can also get it locally here next week. And I know Miss Brenda is going to be putting that in the comments of our conversation tonight, so people know what those locations and times are. And then after our show, we'll be also posting those locations out, so people can pick up a copy of their book and get it signed by you when you pick it up, because everybody wants that signature to say that I personally got my copy of my book from Bobby Rush himself. So I want people to make sure that they reach out and follow back up at the end of this program or in our comment section of this conversation. Also, I want to let you know that Women for Progress Radio and this programming is not only available here on our Facebook page, but it's on our radio page at womenforprogressradio.com, womenforprogressradio.com. Every time we go live on our Facebook, we're also live there. A lot of times folks say, I don't like to get on social media. Well, you don't have to. You can go to our website, and every time we go live, it's there. Also, if you want to go back, you say, look, I was doing something, I had to bake a loaf of bread or whatever it is. I want to go back and listen to that incredible conversation. And so you can go to our Facebook page and go to videos and then listen to this show again. Also, it's available on all of our radio networks, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spreaker Radio, anywhere you get your podcasts. These shows are also available. We want you to share this conversation tonight with all your families and friends. Share it on your page. We want you to like our page and all of our other social media sources, Instagram and Twitter, and we're just all over the place, anywhere you can get us. I want to remind you, if you want to connect with the work of Women for Progress, go to our website at womenforprogress.net, womenforprogress.net. All of the information on how you can connect with us. If you're an incredible woman that's looking for a vehicle for community service, we want you to connect with us. There's a button on our web page that says join, walks you through the process of being part of this organization. We want your time and your effort to be, and we're not a social club, we're a community service organization. So we do a little bit of work. But we do it, and it's always fun, it's always impactful, it's always engaging, and it always inspires you as an individual, along with you contributing to your community. Miss Pauline Rogers is one of those incredible members of Women for Progress, and I stated she's a justice warrior for the city of Jackson, the state of Mississippi, and really our country, because she goes all over the place. Being an advocate for those individuals who are returning citizens, and both men and women, and she's being extremely impactful, making sure that she empowers those individuals. She makes sure that they get the respect and justice that they are due, and we love the work that she do. Miss Pauline, this has been a powerful conversation tonight.
Absolutely. I was listening to Mr. Rush where he made the comment about if you beat your wife, that wife beater is still in you. But when that desire to beat your wife is no longer there, that's true change. I hope that's in the book. If not, I'm going to remember it. I'm going to ever echo it that you said it, because that's impactful.
It is. It's definitely
very impactful.
Now, Mr. Rush, now you also spent quite a bit of your life in Chicago. What was living in Chicago and that culture of Chicago? How did that impact you in your life and your career?
First of all, I wanted to go to Chicago because I left Louisiana in 1947. Went to Pine Bluff, Arkansas with my dad, who was a pastor of a church and a preacher. I wanted to get to Chicago because all I could see and hear around where I was in the southern states, that you had a white fountain, you had the colored fountain. It wasn't black and white at that time. It was colored fountain, black fountain. You had to go to the back door to get your hamburger. You couldn't go to hotels. You couldn't socialize in places that you would desire to because you was black. And someone had said, well, if you come to the Chicago, especially Muddy Water, so you need to come to Chicago, man. You have freedom to do what you need to do or what you want to do. There's opportunities all around you. And I listened to that. I believed that. And I said, well, I'm going to Chicago, man, because I done met B.B. King, Muddy Water, and Hollywood. Everybody telling me the same thing. Chuck Berry telling me to come to St. Louis. I said, well, I'm going to Chicago because that's my heaven. But when I got to Chicago in 1951, Jay Villanova and Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, introduced me to a place in a suburb of Chicago, Blue Island. And I went there to get this job for $7.50 a night I was making. Me and three other guys, so they're making $2 a piece roughly, and some change. And they had to play behind the curtain where they wanted to hear my music, but they didn't want to see my face in just white audio. And I said to myself, wow, this was my heaven. This is why I thought I'd come to be Illinois, not just Chicago. Come to Illinois to be free. And I found myself up to a brick wall. I didn't know what to do. That was my downs. Although I was from the South, I had my ups, my down. That was my down. 2 or 3 years later, I went to a little place where I recorded with Leonard Chess and Phil Chess, BJ Records. So my little badger went up, and I went to a little high on my heels. But then, later on, when Martin Luther King got killed, that was another battle for me. Then later on, I got my Grammy, my badger went up, and I went up to a little hill, and my ballad smoothed out again. But when Floyd got killed, it went down, but not as far as down as it had been, especially when white people started marching with the black and white issue, Black Lives Matter. Then it went up somewhat. But then Kobe came, and I went into my valley again. And it put me down. I was real sick, didn't know whether I was going to live or die. Then it went up. Then I said, well, my badger went up just a little bit, but by the time my badger was going up a little bit, then the things happened in the White House with the marching on the White House. Then all of a sudden, now my hopes is down again. Now it's rising up a little bit. Now I begin to go back to work a little bit. But then in the last 3 or 4 days, my hope began to dim a little bit because the disease, the virus of the disease seemed like they're coming back again. So now it's been up and down with me all of my life. But I was down today about a situation with my kids and the grandchildren. Just a little thing happened with the family. But then you called me to be on this show. Now I'm up again. And that's, every time I'm in one of my valleys, somebody or something come along, lift me up. So that's God is always there. So I tell everyone, we must go out now. I'm talking about 3 or 4 different things. I want everybody to listen to me. Go out and get vaccinated, because the life you save could be my own, could be mine. And we got to do. If you don't do it for me, do it for yourself. If you can't do it for yourself, do it for me. Or someone around you, your mom, your grandparents, or whatever. You got to do it. Do it like I always tell people. You sit down at the table, you bless the table when you're eating your food, because you don't know where the food coming from. You just got to bless it. Mm-hmm. You do the same thing when you're taking a shot. You don't know who giving it, or where it come from, what's in it, or what have you. But you just got to bless it. That's all we can do. I think we have to come to a grip with ourselves. Although a lot of things came to us in history by some wrong things with us, with the vaccination, with the music, and what have you. But we got to get out of that, because in Mississippi, we got 30% of the people who had the shot, who never had the shots. Never had the shot. And they're around me every day. I want to go back to work. I want to do it for my family. I want to make a living. You do too, but we got too many people around saying, I'm not going to do it for whatever reason. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to people who have the shot. It's not fair to old people like Bobby Rush. It's not fair. I want people to consider going and getting your shot and being, if you can't do it for yourself, do it for me.
Well, I'm so glad you shared that, Mr. Rush, about getting the vaccine shots, and I'm so glad you brought that topic up, and we appreciate you making that statement, because I'm hoping that those who are listening tonight will hear you and maybe this is the conversation that will move them when they may have been on the fence about taking the vaccine. We're hoping your conversation tonight will get them to say, okay, tomorrow morning I'm going to Walmart, which is they can get a shot done. It takes a few minutes. Walmart, Walgreens, CVS Pharmacy. I had one of our students to go and take their test today at CVS. They said it was very convenient and very, very quick, and there was no hassle. Turner Care provides free vaccine shots. I think Turner Care maybe require you just to show your insurance, even though you don't have to have it. But all of these other places like Walmart, Walgreens, CVS Pharmacy, Kroger Pharmacy, Jackson Hines Comprehensive Health have several locations that are giving free shots. Magnolia Health, Dr. Erica Thompson, our own Dr. Erica Thompson, who does Health Matters here on our radio show, her clinic is giving free shots. And then I just want to announce too, right here at DSC Training Academy, our Truck Driver Training Academy and our Workforce Development Center right here in South Jackson, on August 10th, we will be having a team of nurses here that's going to give vaccine shots not only to our students who may need it, but also all of their family members and the community, their neighbors. So if I just recommend, if you're ready to get the shot, don't wait till August 10th. Go select a location, get it done, and so that be your brothers and your sisters keepers. And then if you want to wait until you say, hey, I've been wanting to come down to see DSC Training Academy anyway because I need a job and I need some workforce training, then you can wait till August 10th if you want to, and come on and down and see us at the same time and then get your vaccine shots. But we're providing that here because we want to do everything we can. We want to make it the most convenient as possible to every single person. Every single person matters. Every shot matters. It doesn't matter. If on August 10th, if we have 50 people to show up, if we have 100 people to show up, every single shot matters. So we want you to show up right now. We want you to go out to any of those locations right now. Don't wait. It's just minutes out of your day. Go on your lunch hour. Go after work. It's so convenient for everybody. But if you don't get it by August 10th, we want you to come on down and see us. We're at 3906 I-55 South, right on I-55 South in the heart of South Jackson. We're between the Savannah Road and Elton Road exit. It's going to be safe for you. You're going to have one door entrance in and one door entrance out. And we're going to make sure that you get a quick turnaround. And then also on August 31st, we'll have that second shot. We'll be doing the Pfizer shot here. So your second shot will be August 31st, and you can do it right here. Those who are living in the heart of South Jackson, this is a great opportunity for you to stop by, get your vaccine shot, and make an impact to your community. And if you want to see us regarding workforce development or any other issue, if you need some resources and some other guidance, we'll be here to answer your questions, get you connected with some community resources if you need that. We have an incredible program right now around workforce development. If you are a TANF recipient, or if you are just TANF eligible, you don't even have to be on TANF, but if you're TANF eligible, you may qualify for some of our paid workforce training to go through the CDL program to become a professional truck driver. Also, if you already enrolled in SNAP or you want to apply for SNAP, you can also get some paid workforce training dollars there also. And then we have so many other opportunities. So come on down. We're launching our construction program in August, launching individuals in the construction industry that starts at $15, $19 an hour, both men and women. So a lot of great opportunities. Mississippi Coding Academy has a site here where we have an 11-month program that's 100% paid, where you can become a coder in the tech industry. So just a lot of workforce opportunities here. We want you to give us a call at 601-351-5858, 601-351-5858. And then our website is www.drivingyourfuturems.com. drivingyourfuturems.com. And that's what we do here at DSC. We drive your future, a future that can be transformative. It's going to change your quality of life because you're going to be a higher paying job, great benefits and opportunity. So come on down and see us. And also, Pauline, I got to shout out those who are returning citizens who are looking for opportunity, real opportunity. We want them too. We want to see you too. So we want you, if you're in need of real workforce development, you need in jobs that's going to pay you higher so you can transform the lives of your family, you can get it done here. I always say to folks, if we come down and we can't help you, you're not going to leave it empty-handed. We're going to point you to somewhere else to connect you. Because we believe when you walk through our doors, if we cannot help you, if you come to our house, you need to leave with something. As they say back in the day, a piece of cake, or a cup of tea, or whatever it is. So when you come here, if we can't help you with the opportunities we have, we're going to try to connect you with some skills and resources elsewhere to empower your situation. So come on down and see us. Come down and get your vaccine shot on August 10th, or give us a call and go to our website. We've been talking tonight. This has been Women for Progress Radio, and we've been talking tonight with the legendary Mr. Bobby Rush. When I said legendary, Mr. Bobby Rush. Now we have a couple of more minutes, Mr. Rush, so I have a couple of more questions for you. You, I don't think you mind us telling your age. You are 86 years old. And you're still doing it. I mean, you're still getting awards. You're putting out a new album. You're putting out this new memoir. What is it about the music in you that keeps you going?
Well, someone asked me for both of y'all, both your hosts. It's been so wonderful. Someone asked me, said, Bobby Rush, why do you sing the blues? Is it because your woman left you? Well, you can have the blues when your woman leaves you. But you can also have the blues if they stay too long. That's what I mean. Have you ever been mistreated by someone you shouldn't have loved? Have you ever been mistreated by someone you shouldn't have loved? Out of all the men my woman could have left me for, she left me for the garbage man. If I ever get my woman to come back home, I'm gonna buy myself a garbage truck. If I ever get my woman to come back home, I'm gonna buy myself a garbage truck. And when my garbage can't get full, I'm gonna take it and dump it way, way out in the woods.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. Pauline, we just been serenaded by the incredible, legendary Bobby Rush. And that's a treat for us. Isn't it something?
Well, thank you.
Then getting closer to the stage than this.
That's right. That's right. And that's a great way to wrap up our show tonight. This has been Women for Progress Radio. And again, we have been here at our round table, kitchen table, with Mr. Bobby Rush, the legendary, incredible, amazing, and inspiring Mr. Bobby Rush, our own right here in the state of Mississippi and in the city of Jackson. Thank you so much, Mr. Rush, for joining us tonight. We're going to continue to send your information out. We're going to buy lots and lots and lots of books. And so we appreciate it. And thank you so much. And thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to see you soon.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Miss
Pauline.
Pauline.
You are Olympian of music and blues.
That's right. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night. We love you.
Good night.